my song. It's about moving on. This is my song to help me get along. I tried and tried, I cried and cried.
Hi everyone. Hi Lyme Beauties, and welcome back to Lyme Beauty. I'm Jennifer, and as you may have realized, I have been on a 3-month video hiatus. So let me kind of take you back to about this time last year, and we'll go from there together. So in January of last year, I wasn't feeling very well at all. In fact, I was arguably feeling the worst I had since I'd been diagnosed with Lyme disease in June of 2017. And I decided no more antibiotics. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to find an alternative way to heal with the power of my mind and with the amazing things that we've been given on this earth that oftentimes aren't covered by insurance or aren't always recognized by every doctor of Western medicine because they're just the unknown, they're unpopular, and they really aren't a part of mainstream. That began a very long, difficult, painful, and what I believe will be a rewarding journey sooner than later. So, push forward, I think maybe March, and I'm on Instagram, on my Lyme Beauty Instagram. Totally subscribe if you haven't. You'll see me there. Also been on a hiatus from posting pictures there, but I am coming back. I am doing this. I am doing this with you. I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for us. But check me out on Instagram at Lyme Beauty. So around March, I was looking at all of the people with Lyme disease and everyone's suffering, and then some people saying that there was hope. And I found this amazing woman who said that she had had stem cells and she felt so much better 8 months after the stem cells. And I thought, if she can do this, so can I. And so I reached out to her, direct message, and she got back to me. And when she got back to me, I knew right then and right there I was going where she went. I was going to see the doctor that she saw, and I was going to have that treatment. And I did. I'm going to grab my Starbucks. Totally doing a sugar thing today. I've been really off of the major sugary stuff from Starbucks, so I'm giving myself a treat. But so I went to this medical center and I did everything that I needed to do to be prepared to do the stem cells. And I also got on peptide therapy, injectable peptide therapy, thymosin alpha and beta, BPC 157, epithalon, and then also, what else am I on? Well, those 4, and then something called delta sleep-inducing peptide. And I'm on more now, but we'll get into that soon in another video. So these are injectable peptides, essentially amino acid chains, just a little vial. You add the bacteriostatic water to what just looks like white powder, and then you inject that daily. I began doing that right away. I also began doing something called ozone therapy, where essentially this is a form of autohemotherapy, where they take blood, and they take your blood, they ozonate your blood using an outside machine, and then they put your blood back into your veins. I found that to be an exceedingly difficult treatment, namely because it would cause the most intense Herxheimer reaction. I didn't even know what a Herxheimer reaction was until I went to this medical center. I thought I knew because of the antibiotics. I had no clue. I would oftentimes have a fever of 102, 103. My body would convulse and shake uncontrollably. But I pushed forward. And then I had the opportunity to have the stem cells and exosomes. I had embryonic stem cells. That comes from a donor, a mother who donates the umbilical cord. And she donates that for pay, right? So she's paid for this donated umbilical cord. This doesn't come from anything other than a baby that was born, and the mom said, yes, if I'm a candidate, I'm willing to sell my umbilical cord to help other people with health issues. So that was the kind of stem cell that I had. So I had the stem cell therapy, also intravenously. And I thought, yeah, this is it. I'm going to be better instantly, and my life is going to be perfect, and I'm going to be able to get back to doing the thing that I love so much, which is living my life and helping other people live their best lives. And so for those of you who don't know, I have a very successful hypnotherapy practice. I'm also a full-time faculty member at a local college. So that means that, yes, I teach and I run a program, and I've got this amazing practice, and my whole entire life is really devoted to developing the lives of others so that they can live their best life free from the things that are holding them back, and fully able to do everything that is good and right in their life, to live their purpose. And that's the very same thing that I strive for in my own life. And this is why I push so hard through all of these treatments. So the stem cells didn't do for me what they do for most people. In fact, for me, I ended up getting a rash all over my body. I turned bright red, my skin became darker, and I ended up shedding my entire layer of skin. So I think of it as like this really amazing inner chemical peel. But nonetheless, it was actually a really uncomfortable experience. I had a bad Herxheimer reaction for the first 14 days. I was constantly on Benadryl, and it was really painful, and it was really scary. My stomach gave me such a fit during that time. I was increasingly nauseous. I would sleep on the ground by the toilet, and I had a really rough time. I had a really, really rough time, but that didn't stop me. As soon as I could go back, I think it was 3 weeks later, as soon as I could go back to the autohemotherapy, that's the ozone, the transfusion of your own blood, your own ozonated blood, I went right back to that. And I continued to push through the pain, to push through the Herxheimer reaction, to push through all of the exasperated symptoms. I kept up every single day with the peptides, giving myself sometimes up to 6 to 7 shots in a day. Never thought that I would be giving myself shots. It's actually quite easy, and I promise you that I will show you just exactly how to inject a peptide. It's just the thing is I don't have a lot of fat in my tummy, so I usually do it in my bum, so we'll figure out a way to get me on camera giving myself a shot in my bum. We'll see how that goes. But I pushed through all of that, and unfortunately, I never really felt better. I had my blood work redone, and my natural killer cells had gone up from 13 to 57, which those of you who know anything about natural killer cells, you know that that's still too low. But nonetheless, it was a big jump. So it was nice to see one change in the numbers, but the truth of the matter is that I didn't feel any better. I was struggling more than ever before, and I developed something that we believe is ocular inflammation. And it's essentially times where I feel like I'm having almost like a migraine, but without the pain, most of the time without the pain. And it's really disruptive. It really just makes my eyeballs feel like they're wonky, and it can be really frightening. And so it's not really dizzy, and it doesn't necessarily change my ability to see, but it's as though I'm underwater, or there's pressure on my eyes, or that I have like those goo goo doll eyes. Hey, that's a band, the Goo Goo Dolls. Goo Goo doll eyes, and it's just a really uncomfortable feeling. It's something I'd never experienced before I started this journey. But I pushed forward, and and I spoke with my doctor, and she says, you know, there's a new kind of therapy available. And I said, okay, tell me, because at this point I'm into anything, right? You would just crack up if I told you some of the things I was contemplating by this point. But nonetheless, I said, tell me, what else is there? What can I do? And she says there's something called SOT. Okay, SOT, don't know what that is. She says it's the closest thing to a cure. I said, count me in. And let me tell you what, financially, this has been insane. I have borrowed money. I have spent more money than ever before. I have pushed through this. And I'm so thankful to God for continuing to put the money in my path for me to be able to do this. But let me tell you, it's not easy. and I can't always get everything I want. There have been other treatments that I wanted. It has to go on the back burner because I've got to get done the things that are foremost in my path, and then we'll see what the future will bring. So anyway, this SOT thing, it was going to cost me $1,500 for the blood work and then $4,000 for the actual SOT. Long story short, I ended up getting it. So SOT is weird. If you Google search it, you're not going to find much information about it. So let me give you a few little tips here. So SOT, that's support oligonucleotide treatment. So SOT, from my understanding, is, and I'm not a medical doctor, I have a PhD in nothing that has to do with SOTs, but from my understanding, this is very similar to something called Antisense Oligonucleotide Therapy. And so Antisense Oligonucleotide Therapy is really what many researchers believe will be the chemotherapy replacement. It causes programmed cell death, or apoptosis, or what some people call apoptosis. I call it apoptosis. Programmed cell death. Essentially, this is injected into your veins, and it's an army that is doing programmed cell death, only killing the bad cells, only killing the diseased cells. This is unlike anything else. I mean, think of antibiotics. They kill bad bacteria, but what else do? They kill good bacteria. Think of chemotherapy. Sure, it kills the diseased cells, the cancerous cells, but what else does it do? It kills the person. It kills their good cells. So antisense oligonucleotide therapy is the way of the future, and people are being cured from cancer, from herpes virus, from hepatitis, and the list goes on and on. I count myself very, very lucky to have had the opportunity to do this. So on October 14th, I had the SOT, the support oligonucleotide treatment. A few weeks, maybe it was 6 weeks, before I had the treatment, I had a blood draw, and it was first tested. Yes, I was positive for Lyme disease and the things that come with it. So then with that blood, they made a very special infusion. And that special infusion was essentially the army that has now been put into my body by way of IV. And that army is killing the disease and allowing me to thrive. And so at this point, it has been 2.5 months. And this will work from 3 to 6 months. So at the 6-month mark, I'll go back in and I'll have this very special blood draw, and then the story will tell. But my heart tells me this. The story that tells, forget a blood test, the story that tells who you are and how you are is you, is me, how we feel, how we live our lives. And so right now, I'm in the thick of the Herxheimer, right? That's my promise. And I keep telling myself this. That's my promise, that my body is getting better. It's giving the old 1-2 to all of those diseased cells, and that SOT is working for me. The support oligonucleotide treatment is working inside of me. And how do I know this? Because I can feel the Herx. And those of you with Lyme disease, you know what a Herxheimer reaction is. And it's scary. And sometimes it feels like it's taking over your mind, and sometimes it feels like it's taking over your heart. Sometimes it feels like it's taking over your skin, over your face, over your looks, over your eyes, over your mouth, over your throat. Those times when you feel like you can't even swallow. I know. And every time I look in the mirror, I have to tell myself, don't think about what this disease has taken from you or what it's trying to take from you. You'll get back everything that was taken away. And so for me, as a believer in Jesus Christ, I know this. God will restore all that the locusts have taken away. He'll give me double for my trouble, and he'll do the same for you. And whether you know God or whether you believe in Jesus or you don't, at least you must believe in something bigger than we are, something greater than me, something greater than you, the universe, nature, the things around you. It's that very concept that gives us hope, that gives us the hope that we deserve. And so I want to just let you know that right now, I'm in the thick of the Herxheimer reaction, and you might be too. And that's okay. We're getting through this together. We are getting through this together. And there will be a day, maybe it will be 2030, maybe it will be 2040, maybe it'll be 2022, where Lyme disease will be better understood, where people will be healed, and we'll remember that we were on those front lines. We made a way for people with Lyme disease to be heard, for people with Lyme disease to be seen, and for people with Lyme disease to be healed, to be better. And that's my job, and that's your job, and it isn't always easy. You know, today I sat here trying to get the lights right, trying to figure out, what am I gonna wear? Why do I look this way when I used to look that way? Why is this trying to steal my looks? Why is it trying to steal my youth? Why is it trying to steal the very essence of who I am? And I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna push record. Just gonna push record. And I'm just gonna tell my story about where I am right now in this moment. And so in the comments below, share with me, where are you right now in this moment? What brings you hope? Maybe what frustrates you? What makes us who we are right now in this moment that gives us an opportunity to connect with each other? Because you're not alone. I'm not alone. Doesn't matter what it feels like. We know the truth. And knowing the truth that we are not alone, gives us the power to change our feelings. And do you want to change your feelings? I know I do. Especially in the midst of a herx. And we can change our feelings. And we will. And we are. In this video is just meant to let you know what I'm doing, to keep you updated on that. But also, it's an opportunity for you to feel encouraged. You're special, you're beautiful, and we have what we have in here and what we have in here to work for our good. And every day, visualizing those disease cells getting their butts kicked, whether you've had SOT, whether you've had any kind of treatment or not, you have the greatest physician, and it's you, and it's in here, and it's in here. And so for just a minute, I'm going to have you join me. And this isn't anything scary. The word hypnosis is a weird word because it comes with all of these negative connotations, but the truth is that hypnosis is just tapping into your genius mind. And I've developed something called Power Trio Hypnotherapy, or PTH. And essentially all we're doing is aligning the conscious mind, the body, and the subconscious mind, this power trio, this triangle that makes up me and makes up you. And so for just a moment, I want to leave you with a little exercise, something that can perhaps make you feel better, perhaps empower you. Something that will remind you of your genius mind within. And so now close your eyes. And with your eyes closed, take in a deep breath. All the way in, and now as you breathe out anything you no longer need. And now taking a deep breath in again, and this time breathing in healing, breathing in power, breathing in positivity. And now as you exhale, breathe out anything you no longer need. You know exactly what that means. Breathe out that other thing too. Whether it's fear, anxiety, depression, disease, just keep breathing it out. And now again, breathing in that healing, that power, that peace, that positivity. And then again, exhaling out anything you no longer need. You're learning how to do this. And now for the next 7 breaths, and while I continue to speak, just breathing in your healing, your power, your peace, your positivity. And then as you breathe out of you those things that no longer serve you. Keep doing that while I continue to talk, because the truth is that you can do this all the time, all automatically, even without realizing it, always breathing in the good, always breathing in healing, and always exhaling, breathing out those things you no longer need. And as you do this, you automatically get better. and better. And after these next 7 breaths, you'll continue to breathe in healing. And every time you breathe out, you'll breathe out those things you no longer need. Breathing in healing, and then breathing out to cleanse yourself, because I have come to find this, that dis-ease is nothing more than a parasite within our body. It cannot live without us. The parasite cannot live without the host. So breathe out what you don't need, whether that's disease, whether that's fear, anxiety, depression, whatever it may be, hopelessness. Breathe it out, and then see with your inner eye, your mind's eye, see it disappear in front of you. It cannot live without you. You are the powerhouse. You are in charge. That's right. Always breathing in healing, power, peace, and positivity, and always exhaling those things you no longer need. And you can do that. That's good. And now open your eyes. And so as you continue to breathe, you'll continue doing all of that automatically and healing yourself through that process. And if in the next week or 2, anything should try to come into your life that you don't like, you'll just stop and you'll breathe with purpose. Breathing in healing, power, positivity, and peace, and then exhaling that which no longer serves you. And you can do that, and so can I. And so we'll do it together. And I will be back. I will be back very soon to talk a little bit more and spend some time actually talking a bit about beauty. I really want to show you some amazing things that I've found to do with UFO Sunday Riley's. Let me say that again, Sunday Riley's UFO. And I shared that before in another video, but I have some even cooler stuff to show you with that. But for the next week, and until we meet again, always breathing in that healing, that power, that peace, that positivity. And every time you exhale, push out of you the things you no longer need. It's simply exhaling. And you can cleanse your soul and your body. And I know that without accessing my genius mind, without tapping into my power, the power that's rightfully mine and in me, I wouldn't be able to make this video. I don't even know if I'd be alive, because Lyme disease is tough. It's the real deal. It's real suffering. But we can choose another way, even in the midst of the suffering. And so I'll be back to talk to you soon, Lyme Beauties. And remember, you are beautiful. With or without the makeup, with or without the lights, with or without the lashes and the nails. You are beautiful. Because only someone truly beautiful could live through this. I wish you the most wonderful week, and welcome to the year 2020, where we have access to 2020 soul vision.
My song, it's about moving on. This is my song to help me get along. I tried and tried.